We live?
Yep, we are live. Good day, world. Good day, world. We are back in full effect for veterans, by veterans. I know y'all been missing us, but we are back. Before we go any further, we want to go into a moment of silence for my stepdad, Nellum Grant. He passed away about 2 weeks ago, and we buried him about a week ago. And so just want to do a moment of silence for him. All right. So want to thank y'all for taking that moment of silence with us. Today we got my main man, Ken Walton, all the way from Montgomery, Pahokee,
What's up?
Alabama. What's going on, man?
What's up with you, G?
Hey, man, just hanging in there, man. Hanging in there. Hey, we got
David's back up in here.
Yeah. I was looking for my hair, and that's what helped me up. But we should be good now. I think I.
So you got it now.
See straight now.
Man, sometimes what it'll do, man, it'll run from here and come up on the hill, man.
Exactly. Or go in your damn ear or something.
Man. So, man, how was y'all week, man? How did y'all week go, man? We'll start with you, Jamal.
It was an okay week. Just working, man. Business is starting to pick up, so starting to get back into the habit, starting to slowly but surely get somewhat back to normal. So was getting back to back to the drill, doing that, and I'm used to sleeping in and catching that mid-afternoon nap, and then I ain't had that this week. It was kind of tough, man, but it's all good though.
Okay, all right, man. You get back into it. What about you, Walton?
Man, it could have been. This whole month could have been a whole lot better, man. A whole lot better. I mean, could have been better, but it wasn't bad. Thank God. Praises to God for just being here and everything that has been working out, and even the things that ain't. It's gotta lead to something or mean something. I'm hoping anyway. But praying for better days. But I'm here with some champs today. Still smiling, still up. So I gotta claim it as a victory and still going.
Yeah. Hey, there you go, man. There you go. Yeah. The other day, man, I was telling somebody, I said, man, this been the past month for me being like a roller coaster of emotions, And man, I was driving by, I forgot, one of them restaurant chains, and I saw a happy hour milkshake. And man, I pulled in there, man, and got me an Oreo milkshake for like $1. I said, man, I'm winning, man.
It's those simple things in life.
The simple things, man. The simple things. So yeah, man. So I'm glad y'all week went pretty good, man. We missed Father's Day, so we want to kind of give a salute to all the fathers out there, man. And the guys that are filling in those roles, being a father, that's one of the roles that we play as men. And you know, Father's Day, it ain't celebrated like Mother's Day. You know, when you know, but I can say, you know, my Father's Day was pretty good. I finally, well, it ain't here yet, but I was able to pick out the recliner that I wanted, and I've been looking at for a minute.
It's a trap, Pat, man. It's a trap.
I already know, man. I already know they set me up, man. It's alley hoop, man. You know, if we get daddy this, we know daddy can't say no. But I never tell my kids no anyway. You know, it's another word I tell them. It's another phrase I tell them, but I don't never tell them no.
Yeah, so now they're just gonna kick your feet up, let that change fall right out your pocket. Yeah.
Right, exactly, man. You know, so yeah, man, we want to salute all the dads out there, man. I know we're a couple weeks late, you know, but we want to salute, you know. And so, gentlemen, I want to ask y'all this, man. You know, speaking of dads, man, what's one thing that you remember that your dad taught you or gave you, or, you know, a lesson or something that you got from your dad that you still carry with you to this day? We'll start off with you, Walt.
Man,
this could go left or right.
Yeah. Oh, well, there's been quite a few things, and trying to single one out. I'm gonna refer to what I was saying earlier about the simple things. One of those moments was my dad taught me how to tie a tie. I don't know why that was so like such a moment for me, but I picked up on it so fast because I tried to emulate what I seen in pictures and everything, and it just wouldn't happen. So he showed it to me, and I was too excited. I felt like, you know, I was a man, and I don't know, I was a young teenager, whatever, but I felt like I could, you know, hang with the fellas and stuff. I had to get my handshake right because they were still squeezing the devil out of me at the church. But I'm like, all right, you know, I tied my own tie, you know, and got away from the clip-ons. But that was significant in such a way, like it was just us. It was a moment, you know, a teaching almost. Similar to, like, you know, them teach you how to fish or hunt or something for me. Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that was like my first introduction to manhood.
There you go. You can't beat that there, man. You cannot beat that. What about you, Jamal?
Well, I've had the fortune dads. My father, and then I had a stepfather. And from my father, I learned, you know, how important family is, and sticking together and looking out for each other, and just being around and being supportive. So I learned that from him. And then from my stepfather, I remember one time he was he'd get up, he'd get up, go to work at about 3-4 o'clock in the morning. And so one time I got up and I seen him lacing up his boots and getting ready to go out there and do it. And I knew, just looking at his face, he didn't want to do it. It wasn't something that he could do. Man, I can't wait to get out here and do this. So to see him do it every day and do the stuff that we not necessarily want to do. We may not want to do it, but it's necessary for the family, you know, to survive. The lights is on. Like Chris Rock said, nobody comes up to Papa and says, "Gee, Dad, thanks for the lights is on right now. I appreciate that right now so I can study, you know.
Yeah.
Thanks for this hot water," like that. But that was what, you know, in my mind, that's what manhood is about. You know, getting up and doing what is necessary for the family overall, and making sure that you're able to provide. So those two things I learned from my two dads. And they were married to women. I just want to make this cleared up because, you know, I say my two dads might go some other way, but yeah, that's it. That's it. You know what I'm saying? I will make sure it's clear. I don't want
make sure that's clear
no
today,
trouble.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you cleared that up, man. I'm glad you cleared that up. I know we would have got some emails and stuff about that, man. So I'm glad you cleared it up. For me, you know, I would say I had the pleasure of having 3 dads. It was 3 men in my life at different points in my life. My grandmother's brother, we called him Tant. He raised me probably to about 16. You know, so he taught me how to chop wood, how to hunt, how to fish. You know, he taught me how to shake a man's hand. He taught me how to use a knife. You know, he taught me how to shoot. You know, so he taught me a lot of that. He taught me how to carry myself. He taught me how to be amongst other men and have my own confidence. You know, that I can walk in there and be myself. You know, he taught me all that. My stepdad, Nellum, who just passed away, he taught me that hard work, man. You know, so he used to get up every morning at 4:30. He was a farmer. So he was out the door by 5:00, you know, every day. And so, you know, so I remember maybe about 10 years ago, I said, I'm going to change my habit, change my routine up, and I'm just going to start getting up at 4:30 every day. And when I started doing that, I started learning that I can control my day, you know. So I would get up, I would go jog or walk, I would read something positive, come back, take a shower, get ready to go to work. I went 7 years without having a bad day at work, you know, just by getting up literally an hour, maybe 45 minutes earlier than I normally did. You know, so I got that from him. And then just out working everybody. You know, I've had the fortune to work with a lot of people, but I've always looked at myself as being, I'm able to go and do what other people are not willing to do. You know, you ain't willing to make that drive or make that flight or, you know, go sit down with somebody, take your pride out of the equation. You know, so I've always been able to do that. And I got that from him. And my biological dad is this one thing he told me when I got out the military that always kind of stuck with me. He said, if you're gonna have a woman, you're gonna have kids, always make sure you're doing something. Make sure you're working. You know, if you got money coming in, make sure you're still busy. Make sure you're still doing something. So he told me that right after I got out of the military in 2002, after I got off active duty in 2002. And I've kept that with me from that point on. You know, whether I had a job or not, I was still active doing something. You know, so I would say those 3 things I still carry with me till today. You know, so shout out to our dads and dads with an S. You know, and the disclaimer, as David said, they were all married to women. That's the disclaimer. They were all married to women, you know. So we want to shout out to them, man. So fellas, let me ask you this, man. We had something big happen this week, man. Major. Some people don't think it was that big, but for us, it was huge. Mr. Chauvin, if I'm saying his name correctly, he got sentenced this week, you know, and so I want to turn this over to Jamal and get his thoughts and viewpoints and have him bring us up to speed on the Chauvin sentencing. Oh, did we lose him?
Davis.
Yeah, I think we lost him. He'll come back in. But what about you, man? What do you take from the sentencing, and how do you feel about it?
Actually, I think I really felt he was gonna get more time than that. I did. I ain't mad. About it. 22 and a half years. All right. That's still a big chunk out of his life, you know. And for people who are disappointed in that, I mean, hey, as soon as that incident happened, his wife left, uh, uh lost his family, job gone, lost his freedom. I mean, I'm good. I'm good on that. And I feel like for what he did, anytime you sitting on someone's neck like that in handcuffs, cutting off the air and circulation like that, I have a hard time feeling sorry for you, Chief. I have a hard time. I worked at the prison, and no one was allowed to do anything close to that. I mean, you want to put somebody in a chokehold or whatever, someone gonna stop you and say, "Hey, don't do that. Don't do that." We had rules. We got to be professional. I don't see why it should be any different with the police.
Right. I totally agree with you, man. Totally agree. We got Jamal. So Jamal, I don't know if you heard, we were coming to you about the Chauvin sentencing. You our expert, current affairs expert.
Man, and what's the question? You asking what's my opinion or?
Yeah, so what's your opinion? Do you think he got enough time? Where do you see this going? Do you think this is going to be for future situations as he just had with George Floyd? Do you think this is going to be something that we're going to see in the future, or do you think this like just a one-time deal?
I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that it's not a one-time deal. But we got a pattern in this country for it looking like it's going to be a one-time deal. So I kind of keep try to keep myself reserved. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, we got the well, you're gonna talk about that here shortly. So, but his sentence, I guess it's okay because he's also been federally charged. So stand by and wait the outcome of that, and how that will come together with the sentence that he's already received, him and the other police officers that were involved. So we'll kind of hang tight to see that. The comment that he made after he got sentenced was necessary, talking about something's going to come out in the next few days and it'll bring the family closure and whatever. They have closure for that family. They lost a loved one that you can't bring back, And as far as the sentence goes, I mean, like I said, hopefully we'll see what happens with the federal thing. But at the end of the day, even if you gave that man 100 years, somebody died unnecessarily. And it was killed by a peace officer, somebody who's supposed to uphold and enforce the laws of this country. And, and that wasn't the case. And I hate to say it, but, as far as we've come in this country, sometimes you look and you say, well, damn, how far did we come? Because some of this stuff, Malcolm X was talking about, here we are 2021, and we still looking at some of the same stuff that Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Medgar Evers and all these other activists talked about back in the day, even before their time, and we still talking about it here today. So, but you got to be on the positive side, try to be hopeful, and try to move with the punches. But at the same time, I think that we have to be more vigilant and active ourselves. We can't just be like, oh, see, he got charged at work. Nah, we got to be out there and continue to make the system work as it's supposed to work.
Right. Okay. All right. Hey, man, I like your viewpoint on that, man. Especially at the last part, we got to be active.
Yeah, we have to.
We got to be active, man.
And that's everything that we do. The political system, the laws in the country, I don't care if it's what you want your taxes to look like, whatever the case may be, you have to be active. And if you're not active and stuff goes back and it's all jacked up and you're like, dang, what's going on? It's part of you part of the problem. wasn't out there trying to make sure that stuff stays like it's supposed to be. So,
right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, I mentor and coach some youths. You know, and I always tell them, man, like first thing I always tell them, you don't have to work for anybody. You choose to work for somebody, but you don't have to. I tell my kids that too. You know, but that being active, man, that's a big statement, man. You know, I think I'm gonna get a shirt made that put active across it, man. The front and the back. Be active.
Yeah. And active don't mean Twitter fingers and here on Facebook and oh man, this is bad. No, active mean taking
internet gangster
and being part of
Right.
the process, part of the system. So
Right. I'm with you on that. So, you know, we ain't gonna get shoving no more of our time, man. So I want to ask you fellas about this, man, which is huge. Huge. We got a holiday, a federal holiday, by the name of Juneteenth. Now, I remember I've always heard Juneteenth my whole entire life. I remember when I was a little boy in the neighborhood I grew up in, people celebrated it, and they used to always say, this is our 4th of July. And I didn't understand what that meant,
right.
because then you go to school, you don't hear anything about it,
Right.
So, was it a myth? Was it mystical? You never know, and then when I got into college, I started working on an assignment, and the assignment I was working on, it led me to Juneteenth. It led me to my history, and I remember this was maybe 15, 16 years ago. No, maybe longer than that, maybe 20 years ago. And then I just started teaching my kids about it, So what I want to ask you guys is, one, when do you remember? Well, first, we're gonna go with you, Walton, since you the elder of the bunch. Juneteenth, man. Can you tell us a little bit about Juneteenth? Tell our viewers a little bit about Juneteenth.
Yeah, I heard about Juneteenth right as the Gulf War was going on. It's the first time I started hearing that term. Still didn't know much about it. Never heard about it in school or whatever. Just like you. I even seen something on a T-shirt or something like that. But that's about that time. And finally, someone explained it to me. It was when the slaves were freed, and we had our independence as a nation, but blacks weren't free. We celebrate the 4th of July. I mean, it's a national holiday. We fight for this country. We do things progressive in this country. We vote and everything. We had we have a lot. We built this country, on our back. So we celebrate the 4th. We're part of it. But the Juneteenth thing, I never realized how significant and important it was until I was in the military. And I heard about this Tulsa bombing thing or whatnot, and it got my interest in more of what they weren't telling us. And at that time, I didn't have, we didn't have the smartphones. You couldn't Google anything or whatnot. You couldn't look it up. And trying to find someone like a reliable resource wasn't easy to do as far as talking to people, which is what I wanted to do. I didn't go to the library back then. I had little side habits and stuff I was doing, outside of working hard in the military. But finally, when I got the information that I needed and whatnot, I realized, this is bigger than what I've ever imagined. Like this is a big deal. and to find out they even celebrated as a state holiday in Texas, I was like, man, I've been slacking, and of all the reading and everything I did, I never followed up on it. And before it became a holiday, I was more intuitive about it, and it's a great thing that it's finally a holiday. I celebrate it, but it makes me wonder why just now? Why now are we celebrating our freedom? You know, and why is it so many of us just now finding out about Juneteenth and what it is and how significant it is? It's amazing. Like, I've taken Black History before, and I still never heard of it. It's amazing.
All right. Well, what about you, Jamal?
Well, I think I think the first time I heard about Juneteenth, I was in Colorado with you guys, and I went down to see my uncle, my favorite uncle down there, and it would just happen to be June 19th, and he said, we're going out to the parade for Juneteenth, and I'm like, what you talking about? What June? What are you talking about? And then he broke it down to me. But up until that point, I had never heard of that. You know what I'm saying? And then, as Walt said, it's great that it's signed into law. It's a federal holiday. But I mean, here we are. Once again, it's 2021. You know what I'm saying? It's late, like Juneteenth was late. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right.
The emancipation was signed. Those guys didn't find out for 2 years later in Galveston, Texas, that they was free. The whole time, everybody else knew. We didn't know. Those sisters didn't know. So, yeah, it's great that it's a holiday. I celebrate it. I'm happy about it. But one, what took so long, and two, there's some other stuff that's on the agenda that could have been made a priority. Like, I don't know, touching on what we just talked about with the gentleman or the officer that was just charged. How about we make sure that these peace officers doing what they're supposed to be doing as enforcers of the law and stuff like that? How about we go and see about holding these guys accountable and things of that sort? So I'm not saying it's a bad thing or anything like that. I'm happy that it finally happened, and I hate to be ungrateful, but at the same time, it's like, hey man, this should have been. And then there was actually 14 people that voted against it.
Yeah. They claimed the name of it. They didn't like the name of it. Is what they claiming. I said, man, whatever.
And they started coming out. They got a law where they can't really basically in school teach you what it's about. So you got 26 states. My last count, that come up with laws where they can't go back and tell you what Juneteenth is about, how we got to that situation. So we got a federal law, and you got kids coming up to school, and they going through pretty much the same thing we went through because we didn't hear about it, and they can't teach about it because it would divide the country. At least that's what some of these people out here is saying with that foolishness. So. I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, I'm happy that it's here, long overdue. But I mean, there's some other stuff that's on the agenda that need to be taken care of. And of course, if you're gonna put that on and make that a priority, how you gonna stop teachers from teaching about it? And so we learn not to make the same kind of foolish mistakes again. Like what kind of? Hey, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And I think one part of it, of why they don't want you to teach about it, is it's gonna mess with the big lie. And the lie to them is the truth. Like, this is the truth, And I've had conversations, with other people about it, and with blacks and whites, and truthful conversations, and a lot of times if they're our ages of younger, they just don't know, like they've been believing something all this time, because, well, that's what grandma and granddad said, and so now if you start teaching it in school, well, now it made grandma, great granddad look like they were lying,
Mm-hmm.
we can't have that, because it's even, I just had the conversation with a guy maybe a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about housing, and I told him, I said, if you look at where I live at and where you live at, you don't think I want to live in a gated community? You don't think we want to be in gated communities? But the difference is that, to get into your gated community, you was able to go to a family member, or, you had money that was trickle down to you, where you could go put $100,000 down, and you don't make but $50,000 a year. Me and my people, it's rare that, you can go, if you're making $100,000, especially where I'm from, we know what you're doing. We know what you're doing. If you ain't got no degree and you making $100,000, even if you got a 4-year degree, you making $100,000. We know what you're doing. You got some other extracurricular activities going on. But that's where the difference come in. That's sometimes where he didn't even understand. And when I explained it to him, like, yeah, you may not have owned slaves, but you benefited from the system, and it came down. So where your great grandparents, yeah, you can say they work hard, but they got that they made their ends off of my great grandparents' back, but we didn't get nothing. There wasn't no lunch break, wasn't no union. There was none of that. Wasn't no HR. Boss, it's hot out here today.
Right.
Like right now in the coaching industry, we got something that's called the globe. If you bring the globe out and the globe said its humidity is too high, the kids can't be out on the field. They ain't had none of that back then. Oh, the humidity is killing us out here today.
Yeah, ain't had no red bulb back in the day.
Right. Right, you ain't had none of that. You got that whip. And so I hope that Juneteenth is an opportunity for us to have real conversations, but not just real conversations, real actions. Like we can literally have real actions, because right now you got 3 veterans on this phone right now. We all fought for our country. We all said, hey, we're going to put it on the line for our country, and we're all successful in our own rights. None of us have been locked up. The stereotype, that's not us, and it's millions upon millions of other black males just like us, and so the narrative is that we're no good or we're deadbeats, and it's a small few, and we don't like them guys either.
Right.
So it ain't just but we want a fair chance. We want a piece of what we've earned, and that's the whole reason why we started this right here, for veterans by veterans, is to tell our story, our voice, to get our voice.
Just imagine if they're doing that with history of facts. These things actually happen, actual events. Okay, well, what about anybody with a criminal record who say, well, that's going to divide the family up. That's going to make me look bad. I ain't going to be able to get a job. So why don't we take this little rape off of here, lynching, and why don't we take this murder off of here? Why don't we take harassment and all that? Why don't we take all this terroristic threats and everything off of here, so I can make my life better and easier? It's not right. If it happened, just like the Holocaust, it's like World War I, World War II. Are we gonna take that out? Yeah, I mean we're friends with Japan, we're friends with Germany, Italy, but we went to war with them, the Civil War. Are we gonna take that out? I mean, it makes no sense to me.
No.
Yeah, I don't believe that crap about dividing the country up because
I mean,
something
well,
happened.
if that's the case, the election divided the country.
Yeah, blue and red.
We just did. We just had an election, and
Right.
everybody was like, we weren't even talking to each other. Who you voted for? Oh hell no. Go on somewhere.
Right.
So I mean,
Right.
come on, let's just be real. Put the facts in the book. You didn't listen to our grandparents. That's why we didn't know about Juneteenth, or some of us didn't know about Juneteenth till here recently or in the last 15, 20 years. But you put
Right.
y'all's grandparents' story in there, and we finding out today that or a lot of people find out today that was a lie. So come on, man, put the real stuff in the book and let's teach it like it is, man. Let's teach the truth. We can't do nothing about going back and handling your ancestors or what happened in the past. Like Pat said, let's go about some action about fixing what should have been fixed a long time ago. Let's go ahead and fix it now, and continue to keep it fixed. Continue to move ahead. Stop with this foolishness where everybody trying to put their head in the sand. Nothing bad happened in this country, and we're not still going through that foolishness. That's crazy, man.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Right. So, hey, man, y'all heard it here first, man. We about actions. We've had a future senator, Alan Ellison. He's been on our podcast, and he's about action. And so that's all we want, man. We want to have conversations, and we want to put the talks, the results from the conversation. We want to put those into actionable items or actionable steps. That we can get something out of it, especially for our people, So that's what it's time for. So you guys got anything else that you want to share with the people? We've been gone for a whole month.
Been a minute, ain't it?
Yeah.
Man, I really want to get with you guys and really talk about how we can really celebrate Juneteenth the right way and get other people involved. Just because our brown and white brothers, red brothers and yellow brothers, y'all could, it's celebration because there's been more than just slaves of black people. There's been slaves of other people around the world. Freedom is something to celebrate. It's a big thing. It's a huge thing to me, and I actually feel bad about like getting to this point myself and not, just very, very ignorant of the whole, that not just knowing what Juneteenth means, but the whole story of our history, a part like that of our history, including the Tulsa bombing, which is the only time the U.S. has ever been bombed. Bombs ever hit U.S. soil.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
So yeah, and we matter of fact, we need to take a trip out there and do a show out there, man, in Tulsa, man. Matter of fact, we need to take a trip and do a show in Galveston and Tulsa. So if there are any sponsors out there that would like to be a sponsor for Veterans by Veterans, we're looking for sponsors to
try to squeeze in Rosewood too.
To Rosewood, Florida, Galveston, Texas, and Tulsa, Oklahoma. So if you're out there, you can go to the Impact Media channel. You can DM or you can leave a comment. You can go to YouTube. You can leave a comment, or you can go to Facebook. Michael Patterson, leave a comment. Ken Walton, leave a comment. And
We'll
leave that. We'll leave it at that, man. So Jamal, you got anything you wanna, catch the people up on?
I mean, I'm just what we talked about today, man. I just like I said earlier, man, I'm hopeful. Of course, more. There's some days I'm not feeling as positive about the situation, but we can't just sit here and be like, man, this is bad, and just sit on our hands, act like we don't have nothing to do. We got to get out there and do something. We got to get out there and be part of the system and learn how to play the game. I know once we learn how to play the game, somebody gonna change the rules. It's all good. That's part of the game. It's always been that way. But we got to get out here and be part of the game and compete and try to make things better for everybody, not just us, but everybody. We just can't do that by being on. I mean, it helps to get the word out there, Twitter and all these social media, and that's good. Go ahead and put the word out, but get out there and do something too. Faith without works is dead. Get you behind
all day and twice on Sunday.
Go do something. So be part of something.
Exactly.
That's all I got.
All right, world. We want to thank y'all for spending a little short time with us and just enjoying our conversation. Like I said, anybody want to become a sponsor, please just DM us or leave a comment, and one of us will get back with you all. And we will see you guys next week, next Sunday, 5:00, same place, same channel, same time. God bless, and we love you.
Yes.